Hello, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. And welcome to our veterinary nursing webinar, where we're going to be talking all about the degree program at Middlesex. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Catherine. I'm the deputy program leader here at Middlesex for the vet nurses. I am a qualified veterinary nurse since 2012. For those of you who have already been interviewed, I would have probably interviewed already. And if not, I'll probably be meeting you all in the future. And my colleague Jess Parks, who I'll let introduce herself, is here as well to join me this evening.
So I'm Jess. I'm a registered veterinary nurse and I'm the student engagement officer for the college. And I'm very excited to be here and can't wait to share our programme with you.
I'm just wanted to just make everyone can hear me. They can hear me. Yeah, perfect. So we're just going to go through a couple of slides tonight, guys, just in terms of all about the degree course and what you need to know about entering onto it and kind of the content around the modules in what we study. So I know if I've interviewed you already, we kind of went through a little bit about the course, the layout, the timetable, a little bit about the campuses that you've applied for. So tonight we're going to go into a little bit more detail about it, just so you're all aware of it and know what to kind of expect when you are coming on the course. So I'm just going to flick through a couple of slides and you can pop in the chat if you've any questions. We might cover it anyway throughout the next little while, but if there is any questions you have, just pop them in the chat and we'll answer them at the very end. So I suppose the aim of the veterinary nursing program in general is to equip you all to be able to be registered veterinary nurses or RVNs with the Royal Veterinary College, so the RCVS. So at the end of it, you will be on the register and you'll be able to work as a veterinary nurse. We all want you to be employed as RVNs. And also you will gain a companion animal suitably qualified persons qualification. So it's called a CSQP. And that is with vet skills. So that's an additional qualification that you will get on top of your degree. So that's really valuable for you all on your CVs. And just going into new jobs after you qualify, to have that extra qualification is really, really useful for you all, because lots of vet nurses go down the route of trying to get an additional qualification in the CSQP after they qualify. So it's an extra course you have to do, but we're incorporating it into it already. So it's brilliant that you'll be coming out with that qualification. We obviously want you to be safe, confident, and reflective graduate veterinary nurses, and we want you to be able to critically think and come up with your own opinions on things. We want you to be competent and provide holistic veterinary care. And we want to kind of foster, I suppose, a reflective, problem-solving, analytical mindset. And this is where what we use in our learning in how we do that. We want you to use evidence-based information that's out there already to be able to come up with your own opinions and back that up with evidence. We also want you to make good decisions and, do make your own decision making, and you have good teamwork within the practices that you're in as well. So we'll talk a little bit about placement and the fact that you have to do placement hours throughout the 4 years, and that will help you with decision making and team working, and to develop, I suppose, lifelong learning. Because when you are a qualified veterinary nurse, you will still have to do CPD, so you will have to continuously try and improve and do extra I suppose extra courses, extra hours to be able to, gain that training throughout the years of you being a veterinary nurse. So we want to encourage that from the early stages of your study. And then we also want to inspire you to get into other areas as well. Like myself and Jess are qualified veterinary nurses, but we're now in education. We want to foster that sense of, students being able to collaborate in different industries, go down different routes of veterinary nursing, and know that there's other options out there as well after you qualify. And we want to foster that throughout the degree and show you that there is other options out there as well. So we deliver the degree through the College of Animal Welfare and Middlesex University. So we have 3 different campuses that we deliver the programme on. Some of you will have applied for different ones, but the main campus that Middlesex runs from is Hendon in North London. We also have Huntington and we also have Leeds. So I know many of you have applied for different types of campuses, and I would always say when I'm doing interviews with students is to go and visit the campus that you have applied for. It's really important to have a walk around, see the campus, see the facilities and what's on offer for you, because you're going to be spending 4 years there. You want to make sure that you're happy wherever you're going. And it's really nice to go to the open days because you get to meet the staff and you get to meet other students and you get to see what's there for you and what's on offer. So definitely try and get to an open day if you haven't gone already. If you go to the College of Animal Welfare's website, they'll have all the open days up on the website. I think they have more planned for March 2026. So just keep an eye out for extra dates that come up. But it's definitely worth going and having a walk around. It's really important. These are just some photos, I suppose, of our clinical skills labs and the facilities that we have on offer for students. So as part of your course, you will be doing practicals. You'll be practicing with, dummy animals. Like in the photos, you'll be gloving and gowning. You'll be setting up kits. You'll be doing some lab work. So as I said, going to see the campus, you'll be able to see these facilities in person and they'll show you around as to what to expect when you do go there. In Hendon, we're in the Stonex Stadium for all our practical skills work. So it's not on the Hendon campus. There is an internal bus that will bring you there. But it's important just to go to all the campuses to see what's on offer, to make sure you're happy with it. To get into the veterinary nursing course, we have some entry requirements. So this year we have our UCAS points at 96. So that means if you're studying your A levels, you need to be getting C's and B's, and you need to get a C in biology to be able to be accepted onto the course. If you're doing higher access, higher education diplomas, it'll be a 45 credits at a level 3, and they kind of equate to 96 UCAS. Same with your BTEC level 3 extended diploma, you need to be getting a minimum of merits across the course. And then some students do a combination, so they do A levels and BTEC and other qualifications, but they must amount to the 96 UCAS tariff points. If you've already qualified in terms of you've got your UCAS already, and maybe you're taking a gap year or a year out, what you'll need to produce is, I suppose, evidence of your 96 UCAS that you have that or above. And also we require 2 weeks of work experience in any animal related industry. So you could work in a pet shop, in a doggy daycare, in a grooming studio. The best experience that I would always say is try and get into a practice, especially if you're coming on and you're really serious about doing vet nursing, to know what is expected of the role, to know how a practice runs, to know what nurses do, to see what we do day to day. It's really important that you try and get into a practice. So between here and July 26, you will have time to get your work experience done if you haven't done it already. I would always say walk into the clinic, hand in your CV in person. Don't try and send emails or, try and ring them, because they tend not to respond to that. So I would always go in person, introduce yourself, bring your CV with you, have a chat with them and say you want to try and get into the veterinary nursing degree program and you need some work experience. They're always looking for hands. They're always looking for a little bit of extra help, whether that's over Christmas or Easter or weekends. I definitely would try and get in and try and get some experience in practice as well. And as soon as you get the experience done in any animal related industry, just ask them for a reference. They'll have to type you up a reference. It's usually on headed paper from the company or the practice, and they'll sign it for you to say that you have your 2 weeks done. And you will then email that into us and we'll save that on your student profile to say that you have that done. So yeah, it's just worthwhile. The application process is obviously you'll send in your application via UCAS if you haven't done that already. Your work experience is something that you're going to have to start thinking about if you haven't thought about it already, because that is a requirement, just like I said. You'll then be invited for an interview. So I'll interview you, we'll have a chat. Usually our interviews don't take too long. It could be 15 minutes. We'll go through your application. We'll have a chat through some questions. You will have the opportunity to ask me any questions you like on the course or the campus or the career. And we'll have a chat about that. And then I'll go through the next step, which is usually then you'll get confirmation from Middlesex that you've had your interview, and you'll get a conditional offer will be sent out. So usually that's how it works. Middlesex will keep up communication with you via email as well. So they will kind of keep up that communication link with you and send you some information that way. So it's important, if you are thinking and you haven't applied or you haven't had your interview yet, to get booking and get on. So how the program, I suppose, is laid out is that it's a 4-year program. It's full time. It's a 5-year program if you decide to do the foundation year. So the foundation year is only delivered from our Huntington campus. And that's a year basically that you'll get a good foundation for your animal care, your basics surrounding kind of what a veterinary nurse does. And it will also prepare you for kind of the academic level of a degree course. So you'll practice your academic writing and you'll practice submitting some assignments. So you'll get nice support if you feel like you haven't maybe got to the 96 UCAS and you need to do the foundation year, or some people just like to do it because they want to get a grounding first before they commit to the full 4 years. Your 4 years then will be from Huntington, Leeds, or Hendon. It's a four modules you will study per year, and that's 120 credits per year is how that's calculated out. Our timetable is really nice. It's a 3-day week on campus, so it's very manageable. Our timings are from 10 until 4 in the afternoon. So it's really nice for students to have the 2 days off in the week to either work or study. And it just gives you flexibility in terms of that, you're in for those 3 days and you're committed to those 3 days. You'll also have to do work experience in a training practice. So it's a RCVS requirement that all students do a set amount of hours before they qualify. So 1,950 hours approximately is what you're going to be doing before you graduate at the end of your 4 years. Now, the way we do it, and I think it's a lovely way of how we do our work experience, is that we do it in blocks. So you'll go out and you'll go into a work placement for 12 weeks and you're getting hands-on experience in a training practice. And this is really, really crucial for veterinary nurses, that they go into practice early on in their journey, that they're not waiting until third or fourth year to get their work experience done, that you're going in early on, you're getting your hands-on experience. For some of you, it could be your first job. For others, you might have worked in practice before, but it's really important just to be able to work as part of a team. And as I said before, see how a practice runs. You will have responsibilities. You will be a student veterinary nurse. You'll be working there as part of that team. You'll be working their rota, the hours that they give you. So it's really important that we're kind of starting off, that we're showing professionalism from early onset, because we want to instill that into our students throughout the 4 years. So you will be in your training practice for 12 weeks, and then you'll come back into university. You'll be studying your theory, and then you'll go out on another placement block a couple of months later to do another 12 to 14 weeks. And that it will be like that throughout the 4 years, where you're in and out of placement. We have a placement team that will find the placements for you. So we're really lucky that we have a placement team that will go out and search for practices for students. So it takes the workload off you guys, that you don't have to try and go out and find placements. We have to make sure they're training practices, so they need to have a certain standard there for students to be able to learn from. And they also need to have clinical supervisors there, so they have to have enough staff in the practice to be able to oversee students going in there. You'll have the opportunity to move around to different practices throughout the 4 years as well, which is a really nice way of networking and building up relationships with practices before you ever get employed by them. So if, for instance, you really liked emergency and critical care, or you really liked exotics, you can ask the placement team to say, I'm really interested in this. Is it possible that I go to a training practice that maybe I'll see more surgery in? And they will do their best for you depending on where you're living. So we're really lucky that we have that service there for you guys, because it means that you're getting into really good practices. You're building networks before you ever get out and have to look for a job. You're actually networking before that even happens. So that's kind of the way the course is laid out in terms of the placement and the hours. This is our module plan, and I suppose how we deliver that. So in year one, you'll see in semester one, you will be studying 2 modules. One is called Body Systems 1, and one is called Fundamentals of Working in a Veterinary Environment. So you'll study that in semester one, and then you'll move into semester two, where you're going to be studying your practicals and professional development. And then you will be going into your placement. So that's all within your first year. Once you pass those modules and you pass your placement hours, you'll then be moving into year two, which again, you'll be covering a practical module and Body Systems 3. You'll be going into placement again, and then you'll be studying 2 more modules, Professional Development 2 and Body Systems 2. Then you'll move into year three. You'll be doing more placement. You'll be doing your Body Systems 4 and Body Systems 5. And then in semester three, you'll be moving into professional development and practical 3. And then as you move into your final year, you'll be doing your last block of placement. You'll be doing your professional development 4, and you'll be doing ECC, so your emergency and critical care. And then you will be doing your CSQP qualification and your practical 4, and then you will be graduating. So out of each year, you have to pass each module, you have to pass your placement hours before you can progress into year 2. And that travels on throughout the 4 years. So I suppose other degree courses, you might have the option to carry over credits or carry over exams that you didn't pass. For veterinary nursing, you don't have that. You'll have to pass everything before you move on. So that's just the way it is. So you can see our placement blocks are nicely kind of, I suppose, scattered throughout the 4 years. So it means that you're having your theory and then you're also applying that theory to your placement block and etc. as it moves down through the 4 years. So it's nicely laid out in 2 modules per semester is good. So in semester 1, you're going to be studying when you start in September, you'll be studying Body Systems 1, which is your kind of basic anatomy. And then you'll be studying your fundamentals of working in a veterinary environment. So that's your health and safety, you know, the beginning of working in a veterinary environment and what that entails. And then you'll move into your practicals and your professional development until finally then you're in your placement before you go into second year. So placement in general, it's a minimum of 1,983 hours over 52 weeks. So that's over the 4 years. You may end up doing more than this. So if you take holidays, if you're making up absences, if you were sick, if there was bank holidays, you'll need to do more hours than that. And then, as I said, there's a range of placements available. They usually try and get placements close to where you're living. So wherever you're located, they will try and get practices close to that, because it means obviously it's cutting down on your travel time and it's making it easier on the student then to be able to travel into placement. Jess, I think this is your slide, is it?
It is. So thank you, Catherine. So I thought it'd be really good at this point to talk to you about the benefits of a degree in veterinary nursing. And I think it's really important to discuss that. I really do. And as Catherine went through the programme, I also want to say a little bit about graduation as well. So graduation, it's an amazing day. You can see there on the photo of everyone chucking their hats, and it's such a lovely day. Everyone goes to the main campus at Hendon. So whether you're at the Huntingdon or the Leeds campus, you will all graduate at MDX. And it's a really, really amazing campus, and such a good day. And then you also not only have your graduation ceremony, and you'll go up on stage, you'll shake hands with the speaker, and then you get your certificate. You also have the RCVS ceremony as well, where you are going to stand up and declare that you will make animal welfare your first priority. One of the proudest moments of my career. I'm sure Catherine would probably say the same, and we all get super emotional when all our students do that and become registered veterinary nurses. So the reason that you might want a degree, so you might want your advanced skills, and you're going to have quite an in-depth knowledge when you finish your degree with us, because you'll be writing assignments, you're going to be critically evaluating, and that's the key there. So looking at the benefits, the disadvantages, the advantages of lots of different treatments. All your tutors are going to be heavily specialised. They're either a veterinary surgeon or a veterinary nurse, and we've all got our own passion. So each module that will be taught will have a specialist. And it's about career progression. So I know it's a little bit early to think about what you'll be doing once you've been graduated in 5 years, but it's never too early. You might want to be a head nurse. You might want to go into education like me and Catherine, like Catherine said. You might want to be a medicine nurse, or you might want to be a surgical nurse or an oncology nurse. There's all these specialised opportunities. A lot of practices now actually are looking for degree veterinary nurses, which is great. They're also looking for SQPs. And as Catherine said, that's an added qualification you will be having from your programme, which is really exciting. It's also the professional recognition as well. And as we said, looks great on your CV. And it's about reflection, personal development, and I'm very proud to have a degree. I'm sure Catherine, I know, is very proud to have her degree as well. And it's about increased confidence and that increased job satisfaction as well. But it's about knowing, maybe opening different opportunities for yourself as you progress through your career. But whether you do the diploma or whether you do the degree, you will be a registered veterinary nurse, which is really exciting. And our programme has been developed with student feedback. So our students told us what they loved, told us what they wanted to see for our programme, programme we revalidated, and our 4-year programme is based on student feedback. It's been really thought out. I like to sort of touch on what Catherine said about the 3-day week, because we do want you to have a really good work-life balance. So it doesn't feel overwhelming, so you can fit in your personal life around your studies. And if you do want to work alongside and get a job, you can potentially do so, depending on how long your placement blocks are, as Catherine said. But it is about what you're going to potentially do. So I like to take this opportunity. Once I became a registered veterinary nurse, I love exotics, I love anaesthesia, so I've gone and specialised in those areas. My degree definitely did open doors for me that maybe wouldn't have been there had I not had a degree. I'll hand over to Catherine to just give a little bit of background about where her degree took her in her career journey.
Yeah, so I qualified, and then I went working. I went locuming across the UK, and then I decided to do a physio add-on certificate. So I did small animal physio, and then later on, maybe 3 years ago, I decided to do my postgrad in veterinary business, because I had an interest in head nursing and managing practices, and that's kind of where I suppose where my interest lay at that time. So I think, yeah, as Jess said, it's really you'll start to figure out basically where you have a really, keen interest, because you might think right now I'd love to see this, but actually when you get into practice it might be something completely different. And that's the beauty about veterinary nursing, is that it's so wide range that you can actually go down a lot of different avenues, and you'll figure that out as you go, I think.
Yeah, and I would agree as well. So there's lots of different routes, but it's got to be for you as well. So if you're really like learning, you want to get into like the bottom of everything, you really want that knowledge, then the degree is for you. As Catherine said, you're not going to miss out on the practical, because we've got practical blocks which are scattered throughout your program, so you'll be getting stuck in straight away. And we're really proud of our program, and I love sharing it with you. But next slide, I think. So why choose us as well? So at the moment, for the 2nd year running, we are #1 for veterinary nursing degree according to the National Student Survey. So our students fill in the survey every year in their final year, and they talk about their programme and what they liked and what they found, and they fill in that survey. And lots of our students said that they love the programme, and we do have some of the highest NSS scores for veterinary nursing, which is really exciting. So you will get that BSc honours degree in veterinary nursing because you do your dissertation. And our programme was founded by a registered veterinary nurse. So some of you might know Barbara Cooper. She's amazing, such an inspirational lady. And she set up the College of Animal Welfare, and it was the first BSc honours degree, and it was founded with Middlesex. And now there's quite a lot of different universities that offer vet nursing, but we were one of the first. And as I say, we have that SQP qualification. We also use virtual reality. So a lot of our students are going to be practicing clinical skills, maybe they're OSCEs. We have dedicated virtual reality where students can practice clinical skills in the virtual reality setting with a headset. We do give our final year students headsets to take home so they can practice their clinical skills at home. And I think we've just got a little video on the next slide to show you the VR.
Welcome to the future of veterinary nurse training. Are you ready for veterinary nurse training to be taken to a new dimension? Developed by a dedicated team at the College of Animal Welfare, our new virtual reality technology is ready to change the way we think about learning. Our intention is to use the software to help trainee veterinary nurses create muscle memory when preparing for their OSCEs. We believe this will not only assist in the learning and accessibility of practical skills, but will also help to alleviate exam anxiety. So far, students can practice a range of OSCE tasks in virtual reality in a hyper-realistic virtual clinical environment. This is a first in the veterinary nurse training field And at the College of Animal Welfare, we are so excited about the potential applications of virtual reality technology, even beyond the OSCEs. Virtual reality can be used as a hugely beneficial training tool, providing a way to enhance student engagement with their study, increase their knowledge, boost creativity, and provide an avenue for active and dynamic learning. So, the only question we have left to ask is, are you ready to step into the future of veterinary nurse training and join us?
Okay, so you can see there that there was lots of skills that you can practice in virtual reality. It's really amazing. So you can practice anaesthetic, leak testing the anaesthetic machine, the circuits, you can do bandaging, you can clean kennels, you can stock rotate, and you can select instruments and package instruments and lots of other things. It's amazing. When I put the headset on, it just blows me away. It really does. And so we're one of the only veterinary nursing programs that has a really dedicated virtual reality program for vet nurses. So that's really exciting as well. So I guess we would say here, so don't take our word for it. Here's some testimonials from our students. And they have said that they really think that the course is really supportive, that they get really good skills from here. And if you are slightly struggling, you might have different learning needs, we are really supportive here. You get an academic advisor that will look after you and help you with your targets and your progression through the program. There's always someone you can reach out to. We have a really good welcome induction program as well. So it's a week just before you start your program. So you can meet us, you meet your fellow students, so you can make friends, which is really important. And we've got a dedicated wellbeing team as well through Middlesex and through the College of Animal Welfare as well. You get free six counselling sessions with the college if you should need it, and we are really supportive. And as you can see here, a lot of our other students say that they love to have fun. As you can see here in this picture, everyone is suturing bananas, and that's Nikita, one of our tutors. Is really all about active learning, doing lots of different activities with students. It isn't just about death by PowerPoint or presentations. We've got lots and lots of different learning techniques that are used within sessions as well. So it caters for all learning needs. And as I say, we're really supportive. I really like this bit. I really enjoy the practical aspect of the course, especially the chance of gaining valuable experience during placement. They've gained loads of new skills, and they've really helped with the theory sessions. And we've got lots more testimonials, but I will move on to the next slide. But we are really supportive here. So ways to apply then. So you can apply via UCAS, you can scan the QR code, and then once you've applied, as we said, you'll be interviewed, so by the lovely Catherine, probably, or maybe Claire, our programme manager. And we're super friendly, super supportive. And as Catherine said, it's your chance to ask us questions about the programme as well as us asking you questions. So it's definitely partnership and teamwork together. And I'll hand back to Catherine. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jess. So yeah, guys, if you haven't applied already, just scan the QR code. It will bring you to the UCAS website where you can apply, or you can just go on the Middlesex University's page, go on to the veterinary nursing degree, and that'll bring you up into the link to be able to apply as well. Let me just flick on here. So fees for 26-27. So for UK students, 9,535, and for EU or international students, 17,200. So obviously your fees give you access to a lot of different things. We have a lot of different services at Middlesex: free laptops, free printing, free online training, lots of different student services within the campus. As Jess said, on the Hendon campus, we have a full wellbeing centre. You have the gym, you have social activities, etc. We also have the Core Text, which is an online platform where all your books are going to be on there. So you have access to that. And then also when you graduate, you come away with access to the veterinary journals and the veterinary books that you've accessed throughout the year as well. So you'll get lots of, I suppose, things included in that. If any of you have questions about finance, I would always recommend contacting the finance team within Middlesex and having a chat with them, because obviously every student is individual. And it would be good if you had any queries to be able to contact them, and they'll have a chat with you about fees and services and finance, that you might be able to get. Any questions? I think there's a few in the inbox, which we can go through, Jess, I think. So if you
Okay,
want to do them.
I will. So I'm going to start with this one. So someone in a little group has said, do I need to complete a more recent course to cover the UCAS points, as they have completed a first and a national diploma back in 2006 in sports sciences, which provide more than enough UCAS points? If I do not need to complete a more recent relevant qualification, would this be accepted as a form of qualification towards applying? If I do need more recent qualifications, what sort would be acceptable? And they are currently studying a level 3 award in elephant studies. Wow, that's so
Oh, wow.
exciting. Wow.
So that sounds quite individual. And what I would say is apply. And if there's any queries about your application with your qualifications, the administration team will query it with you. Usually students who apply who are over 21 and maybe haven't been in uni for a long time, it's usually fine as long as you've got the UCAS points and you've got your work experience done. You'll have to meet the criteria of the biology. So have a look at that. But I definitely would apply. And then if there's any queries, what we can do is have an interview, have a chat, and then if it's a case where you might need to do an add-on, or maybe you start the degree and you have to do an add-on of something, we can have a chat about that. So definitely apply. But yeah, we would have to look up the qualification on paper to see, to be able to give you direct advice. But apply, and we'll have a chat with it for sure with you.
Also doing some animal care as well. So lots of really good transferable
Yeah.
skills there as well. So well done. That's very exciting. I'd love to chat with you at some point. Okay, so next one would be, what are the job prospects when we graduate? Do most students get employment straight away? So I can answer that one. I would say nearly all of our veterinary nurses have a job to go to once they've qualified, and that would be the case whether they're diploma or degree. Most of our students that have done placements, sometimes they get offered RVN roles, but also there is so many registered veterinary nurse jobs out there. If you go on Indeed jobs, or type in the jobs, there's lots of veterinary nursing jobs there. Students can actually get the best one for them. There's lots to shop around for, and salaries are really good now as well. But yeah, I help students afterwards that are looking at getting a job, and we can meet and discuss CVs and covering letters. I met with a student a couple of days ago and did interview techniques, and they got the job. So most students are not looking for a job they're not looking for a job for a long time. They're pretty much snapped up quite quickly. So thank you for that question. As Catherine, have you got anything to add?
No, I think we're very lucky in terms of, because you're doing the work placements for so long over the 4 years, you're building relationships before you ever even need to look for work. So you kind of know what you're looking for, and you kind of can figure that out before you even have to. And I know a lot of our students, before even graduation, they had their jobs ready to go. So I think we're very lucky at this point in the industry where our job and our skills are really required, and you can kind of pick and choose of where you want to go, what kind of practice you want to go to, what location. So yeah, I think definitely in the UK we're very lucky in terms of the selection of jobs out there now.
I think that was so great. Thank you. And they said that the next one would be, can I still apply? I'm working towards getting the required work experience.
Yeah. Oh, definitely apply to have the interview done, and then you'll have up until July 26th to get your work experience done. So it'll just be that the offer you get will be a conditional offer based that you will get your UCAS points and your work experience done. And then when you get your work experience done, you just send in your reference. And then when we wait for the A-level results to come out, and then everyone gets their permanent offers then.
Thank you. So the next question is a really good question. So you've mentioned we do the SQP qualification a couple of times. What is it? So I think that's pretty straightforward. So if you want to go.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Jess. So yeah, a CSQP basically is somebody that can supply certain types of veterinary medication to the public. So you might find them working in practices or in co-ops or in different kind of retail units, but you're basically allowed legally to be able to prescribe some veterinary treatments. So it's a really useful qualification to add on to your degree. Obviously, it's part of the degree we offer, but I don't have a CSQP qualification qualification. So if I was to do that, I would have to pay and do another course for it. So it's really useful on your CV when you're going for jobs, even if you're working behind reception, that you have that skill that you're able to use. So it's added into our course. So yeah, definitely it's great to have.
For sure. I was talking to a third year student who actually had said to me that she didn't see the value of it back in year one. And now she's so grateful because the practice she was applying to had asked if she got an SQP,
Yeah.
and she felt that that really sort of helped her with her job application. So it
Yeah.
was really good. So the next question is, I've already completed 1 week work experience. I have another weeks booked in August. Well done. It's so difficult to get work experience. Well
Yeah.
done there. I have a letter of recommendation from the first week. Would the 2 weeks in August still be valid?
Yeah, that's fine. So if you come for the interview, you send in your reference for the week that you have, we can put down that you will be gaining your second week, we'll say, of work experience in August. So as long as you have it done before we start, which is usually mid-September, you'll be fine. Yeah.
Perfect. And again, another really good question. So regarding the work experience, does it need to be in a vet's or in any animal setting?
Any animal setting. So we require any work experience, 2 weeks of work experience in any animal related industry. So whatever you can get is always beneficial. But I think the best one you could get is a practice. So if you can try and get in there, brilliant. If you're struggling and you can't, any animal related industry is fine.
Perfect. And then the next question, which again, really good question. So we've mentioned a degree and a diploma and foundation degrees. So what qualification do I actually need to work as a vet nurse? So I'll start off and then hand
Yep.
over to you, Catherine. So that just means there's quite a few routes into veterinary nursing. So if you have a look at the different ones, you'll need to think about what is going to work best for you and which one's going to fit you and how you like to study. So let's take the level 3 diploma. The level 3 diploma for the apprenticeship route, you'll need 5 GCSEs at grade C or above to include your maths, English and science, but you would need to be employed as a student veterinary nurse in a practice unless you do the non-employed route, which is on our website. I'll ask the core events to just put that into the chat in case anyone is interested in having a look at those programs. But they still mean you are a registered veterinary nurse at the end, qualified veterinary nurse, as does the degree program, which we're talking about now. So the BSc honours degree. You will also be a registered veterinary nurse at the end, but you will have a degree, which is a higher qualification than the level 3 diploma. And then the foundation degree is if you don't have the requirements to get onto the course for the BSc honours, there is that foundation year that can help top you up to get into the BSc honours degree. And then this as well, I'll hand over to Catherine in case I've missed anything.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, you've said everything. I
Perfect.
think, yeah, the degree is obviously a higher level of education. So it's just depending, I mean, and both courses can suit you depending on what you want, you know. So it really just have a read of both of them, look at the descriptions and see what you think would suit you best.
Perfect. Okay, so I've had a question saying, what are the entry requirements for IB? And I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
don't know
know?
what
Yes.
IB is. Yeah.
So I might need a little bit more details on that one for who wrote that question. So if you just write that again in for me with a bit more details and we'll be able to answer. Perfect. And then I've got another potential student that says, I can't remember whom I spoke with, but they're from America and they've sent over their transcripts, but have yet to do any of their science classes. What would I qualify for? They also work as a dog walker. That's great. And have been for a few years. So you've got loads of experience with dog behavior there then. That's really good, and dog care. Should she, I think maybe that would be the best to reach out to maybe BSc admin for some further information
Yeah,
and someone can give
so
you a call.
let me just have a look at that question. If it's a personal, I suppose if it's an individual and you're querying whether you have the, you know, the right qualifications to get onto the course, I would always just apply, send in your documentation if you can, and then they will review it and basically tell us what you need or what your qualification translates to in UCAS points. And then we can go through that with you in the interview to say, this is what you need, this is what you don't need. So if it's an individual basis, I would just contact the Middlesex admissions team, send in your transcripts, and then they'll be able to transfer that to us then, if that makes sense.
Perfect. And then the next question is, they spoke to student finance and they were told they would have to self-fund year one. Can that be done in installments? How does finance work with Middlesex Uni, and when would their tuition fees need to be paid?
I wouldn't know about finance, so it's very separate to us in terms of what Middlesex require. So I definitely would probably just give them a ring back if they're saying you need to self-fund. I'm sure it can be done in installments, so just double check when those installments would be due by, and then just double check, yeah, when the tuition fee would need to be paid. So I would probably recontact them again and just double check, because we don't really have anything to do with the finance side of things. So I would be afraid to give you any advice without directing you there first.
And then the next question is, a student has already completed 280 hours in a practice within their college program. Do these hours count?
Yes, definitely. So yeah, you would just need to get your reference from the practice to say that you have 2 weeks done. That's it. But yeah, that's brilliant if you've got those hours done.
And then the next question is, they currently live abroad and they will be relocating the UK in the January. That's cool. And do you accept work experience from abroad? So a
Yeah.
vet practice.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
totally.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just get your reference from them again and just get them to sign it and stamp it from the practice, and that's fine.
And that's really exciting coming over here. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Great. We wish you all the best. And then as someone who would fall under the mature student field, what would be sufficient for a reference in the UCAS application prior to work experience?
If you have a work colleague, a previous employer, anything like that would be fine. Like usually when you're leaving school, it would be like your head teacher, or it would be, the principal that would write you a kind of a personal reference. If you had a previous employer or someone you used to work with, that would be fine as well. It's really just kind of like to boost your application, really. But to be honest, when I'm interviewing, I go off your qualifications, your work experience, and kind of or interview as a whole. So yeah, if you can send in a reference from a work placement, then great. And if you can get someone to write you a personal reference on the application, an employer or a past employer would be fine, or a colleague even that you used to work with.
Perfect. And then I'm not sure I have any UCAS points. I've done GCSE biology at college and animal management at level 3 with a triple merit qualification. Do I need
Perfect.
those UCAS points?
So you just have a different entry requirements. You're not doing A levels. So if I just flick back to the slide at the beginning, let me just flick all the way back here.
I think that's great. Animal management will be
Yeah,
really
it's
good
brilliant.
to set you up really well for this
So I
program.
presume, yeah, you're doing the level 3 diploma. So you just need a minimum of an MMM, which it sounds like you already have. So that's brilliant. Yeah. So your offer would just be different. It wouldn't be your 96 UCAS. It would be that you have your MMM done. So yeah, definitely apply.
And then the next question is, what are the entry requirements for IB, which I think stands for International Baccalaureate? And if I've
Oh,
said
yes.
that wrong, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, you are. Yeah, a baccalaureate is so it's again, it's a very individual thing. I would have to look up the baccalaureate requirements. I don't have it on me now because we don't see that many. I've seen some French baccalaureates before, but the best thing you can do is send in your application, send in what you have done already, so proof of exams or any awards that you got with the baccalaureate, and then the lady who usually deals with all the international qualifications will tell us then what we need from you. So definitely just apply and we will have a look for you. But yeah, it's a pretty specialized one, so it's hard to know off the top of my head what it is.
So where would I need to send the reference once I've completed the work experience?
So if you've applied, you will get confirmation of your application by email, and there'll be an email address within that you can send it into.
Perfect. And then our last question for currently, but there may be more as we chat, is travel question regarding the Leeds campus. So I will answer this one.
Oh yeah,
I
Jess, yeah.
had a little drive around the other week, that's great. And I wouldn't always have the car to travel there direct. Are there travel links, as it's pretty on the outskirts of the city? So there's a bus that drops off at the bottom of the hill, which is about a 4-minute, if that, walk to the bus stop. And buses come every 15 minutes from that bus stop through the working day. Sunday's a little bit different, but hopefully you won't need to travel around there on the Sunday. It's usually like one every hour or something like that. But I get the bus, so I get that bus quite quite frequently, and I get it from the city centre. And it, depending on traffic, so if you are travelling at sort of like the peak times, it can be a little bit longer if you get stuck in traffic, but it's mostly about a 35-minute journey from the centre up there, just because it is a bus and it does, you know, stop. But the White Rose Centre is very close to the Leeds campus as well, for anyone wondering, and it's got lots of shops, lots of restaurants where students hang out at lunchtime, students go in cars and then, you know, hang out at lunchtime in the White Rose Centre, or go and meet each other afterwards. I think there's a cinema and crazy golf and other things like that. So that's quite close to the campus as well, which is really good. But now I've had no issues getting the bus. It's pretty reliable. Yeah, and quite easy to get, and it's quite cheap as well.
Right. Any other questions, guys? And just to, I suppose, an add-on as well is just remember, because it's a 3-day week that you're going to be in university, you know, some people commute for those 3 days, and I definitely would recommend doing the journey, especially if you're going to do an open day, or if you want to pick a day during the week where you actually do the journey to uni, because I think it's important to kind of factor in the journey time, that's going to be added on to your day, because some students query whether they should move, whether they should stay at home. So it really comes down to a personal thing, but definitely try and do the journey on whatever way you're going to be doing it when you're going to university, whether it's public transport or driving. I always recommend that you just do it so that you can factor that in then when you're planning your day, etc. Then when you're getting your placement, if you were, we'll say if you were living at home and you wanted to commute for your days of uni, we could try and find you a placement then close to where your home is, so you don't have to commute as far, if that makes sense. So there's lots of, you know, different options, but definitely try and do the journey before you commit, just so you know.
So that takes us to the end of our questions. So I'll just open the floor to see if anyone else wants to ask any questions. Oh no, we've got another one. Let me have a look. I tried to book the interview, but it said there was no available sessions for this event. How would I be able to book an interview about my application?
Ah, okay. There should definitely be slots, because I have free slots next week and the week after. So, did you try? I wonder, did they try doing that to, like, recently? Was it this week or was that a while ago?
Just
If you
see.
want to pop in the chat and just let me know, because there definitely is slots free.
It was this week, she says.
Oh, okay. I put my email address in the chat here, and if you want to email me,
Thank you.
let me just pop it into the chat. Just email me, because I'll query that with admin if it looks like there's none, which there shouldn't be. Let me just pop that in here.
And we can answer other non-program related questions, like what's it like to be
Yeah.
a vet nurse. If anyone wants to ask any questions about the role itself, we could also answer those.
Yeah.
So we've been doing it a while. And it is such a worthwhile career, so we're all really excited that whatever route you do, we're really excited that you're considering it as a career option for sure.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to miss the next, next path for vet nurses, next generation.
Yes, next generation. And I think I get a few questions as well in the interviews about support, and the support available to students within the university as well. And in all the campuses, we have a lot of support. So in our Huntington and Leeds campus, I suppose it's a smaller campus than Hendon, but I often say that that's actually nice. It's intimate. You get to know your classmates, you get to know your tutors. It's easy to find your way around. There's lots of support there in terms of, as Jess said, you'll have an academic advisor linked to you. So they'll be the person that you go to if you have any questions. You obviously have your tutors in the classroom. You then have the support team in terms of the learning enhancement team, who are there to help you with assignments, and if you've got assessments coming up and you need that bit of extra help. We also have the DDS team, so they're within Middlesex and they assess students. So if you have a query about maybe, if you felt like maybe you're dyslexic or dyspraxic, or you have anxiety over exams, they can assess students and they can put conditions then for that student. For example, you get an extra half an hour in your exam, you get a room on your own. They can put in conditions that we then go off. So it's just really, really useful for students, because sometimes you might be in school, or you mightn't have been in education for a long time, and you come back then trying to do your academic work and you find or figure out that actually you're struggling. It's a really useful service. It's free to students. You get assessed and then they send us a report. So there's lots of support within the university on no matter what campus you're going to. And then obviously your placement team will help you while you're out on placement as well. So lots of people around to help.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. So that links to one question that we've just been given. I've been out of animal related education for 7 years now. I have got learning difficulties and Asperger's syndrome. How is the support? I'm worried with it being 7 years since I did my vet nursing lessons.
Oh, yes, yeah. And that's a common thread. I mean, we have lots of mature students that come back after being out of education for a long time, and maybe they've gone working in a vet's, or they realize they want to go back and do vet nursing. So we've had lots of students with learning needs. Middlesex are really well, I suppose, supported in terms of having people work for them that are able to help students. So you can get extra tuition. You obviously have your library, both physically and online. You have your librarian there that can help you with resources, etc. You'll have your academic advisor there for any kind of help that you would need. And then you have your learning support staff that are in place then to help students if you might need extra help in terms of study, exams, etc. And your DDS team then that would assess you and kind of put things in place for you to help you. So there's lots of help. I mean, Hendon campus in general is very diverse. We have lots of students studying lots of different things. So they're really well equipped to be able to handle anyone that might have, more needs. And yeah, we welcome everybody. And I think it's really good that you're thinking about coming back after 7 years. And I wouldn't worry at all about being out for a while, because we have people coming from school who are doing A levels that may have no experience with animals, and they might just do their work experience and apply. So the fact that you might have had some vet nursing modules done before is always a positive.
And I think that ties next into the next question. They're saying that they're thinking about a career change and it might be best to contact us directly. I would totally agree, but please don't worry about that. I know so many people that have taken a career change and done vet nursing. Some of them are my really good friends. I've got a friend that was a lawyer that now is a vet nurse because they wanted to work with animals. It being a lifelong passion. And there's different age ranges across our degrees. So please don't worry about that. But I think it would be really good to catch up with you individually to talk through your requirements. As they've said, they've graduated from high school ages ago, so just need to figure out about A levels. But really excited to chat with you. I think that is really, really good. And we really wish you luck with your career change. How exciting.
Yeah.
Definitely choosing a really good career. So rewarding. You'll love it. So that's really good. Thank you. Hope that answers that. And what do you initially expect us to have been shown or taken part in during work experience, as some practices may give better experience than others potentially. We just expect you to go and get stuck in and experience in life in the veterinary profession within a practice, so that it's right for you, because what you might think a vet nurse role is and what it actually is when you get there could be slightly two different things. Like, I talk to the public all the time, and my idea of vet nursing might not be their idea of vet nursing, and as you chat they realize that we're really skilled and we do lots of things, and some of those things can be a little bit grim, maybe, in terms of bodily fluids that might happen, and that we help with surgery. You're going to be seeing blood, you're going to be seeing a bit of guts as well, maybe. Hopefully not too much of that though. You'll be doing lots of things, not just restraining patients or feeding them or walking them out. There's going to be lots of placing catheters, taking blood, doing lab tests, monitoring anesthesia, as well as dealing with aggressive cats, and also the really sad sort of side of vet nursing, such as euthanasia as well. And when your patients don't make it, not everyone is going to be able to manage emotions and that kind of thing. So we need you to go in and experience life with animals, whether that's a veterinary practice or in a non-veterinary practice. We want you to know that working for animals is what you picture it to be. So they're not two different things. So you don't come on a course that isn't for you. That's all. And each practice will be slightly different, or work experience place, and that is absolutely fine, because you're still going to be learning all the really valuable skills like teamwork, communication, and then listening to instructions, because listening is really important as well, and getting that experience. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, and I hope that answers that question, but I'll see if Catherine's got anything to add.
Yeah, no, that's what I would say as well, is just get stuck in, ask questions, observe, see what goes on in theatre. You know, some people who are under 18 struggle to find placement in practice. You know, so if you haven't turned 18 yet, just wait and try and get your place, you know, try and get some work experience somewhere else. But I would just say if you've the opportunity to get into practice, definitely take it, because yeah, as Jess said, you'll see all the good and the bad sides, and you have to make sure that it is for you, because it's a hard degree, you know, it's hard work, but it's really rewarding work. And it's hard because we have to sign the oath. We have to, you know, it's a life vocation really. So that's why we always make sure, you know, that people are getting their placements done, because it's not just a normal degree that you come on and, you know, you have to expect what's going on in a practice and be able to be prepared for that. So yeah, definitely try and get in.
But we're not expecting you to be experts after doing your
No.
experience. So please don't worry. You know, a lot of vet nurses is learning and doing the tasks over and over and again to get competent. So please don't think, oh, I'll never be able to do that, because I thought that, and here I am, and I've mastered all of my MPL skills and day one skills, which is part of vet nursing. And I learned on the job, and it didn't always come
Yeah.
naturally. I can definitely say that. I had to do some things, you know, quite a few times to get competent, and that's absolutely fine. As long as you're passionate, you really care about animals, you're, you know, can work in a team, communicate, there's a lot you can build on in practice, and will help you every step of the way. So next question, does hands-off experience that you might have done as a volunteer in a zoo help as well for work experience? For definite, for
Yeah.
sure. Like working in a zoo, it's so hands-on, and again, teamwork will be key there, with such transferable skills. And whether they're zoo animals or your dogs and cats and rabbits and guinea pigs, it's all animal care and super relevant. In some ways, you'll be working in quite a challenging place in a zoo, so
Yeah.
I think that will definitely help you for sure. How exciting! I love hearing about everyone's experiences.
Yeah.
Brill. And is there any reading material you would suggest reading while waiting to start the course? Something that can enhance the knowledge needed for the course?
That's a nice question. I mean, you always have your, you know, I'm not sure what you have access to, but you'll have your big veterinary nursing books. They're quite expensive to buy. You'll have access to them once you begin the course anyway. So I wouldn't say you need to invest in that, but you could definitely look up online, have a read of a couple of the veterinary journals if you have access to them. Vetnurse.co.uk is a nice website. They kind of have like what's out in the industry at the moment, and they have resources for veterinary nurses to revise, and they have, you know, the latest job adverts and stuff. So you could have a look at that and just see, you know, if you can gain anything. I mean, a big part of veterinary nursing in your first year is you studying a module that's kind of working in the veterinary environment. So it's a lot about your health and safety and your communication and your teamwork. So it's kind of like your skills that are required for lots of different types of jobs. And then you'll do body systems 1, which is kind of the beginning of your anatomy and physiology journey, because you'll have that journey throughout the 4 years. So that'll be kind of your first starting off modules. So, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about trying to get prepped for anything, because we start with everything, the basics that you need to know. But certainly if you wanted to go to the library or look up, you know, online, you can certainly look up some resources like your veterinary journals if you've access to them, and vetnurse.co.uk. I don't know, Jess, do you have any other
Yeah, I'd
suggestions in the
probably
UK?
also recommend the British Veterinary Nursing Association, because they do have
Yes.
student membership, so which you could get once you've come on a program. But they also have a really good social media sort of following on either Instagram or Facebook. I think they've got TikTok as well, and you can go in there and it'll give you lots of information on our profession. They do look after us. I definitely recommend the British Veterinary Nursing
Yeah,
Association
they've
for sure.
congresses and everything, don't they? Yeah.
They do. So lots of good information in there to get stuck into as well, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that is the end of questions. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Good questions, though.
Yeah, really good.
Nice variety.
I've loved hearing about what everyone's doing. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
That looks
No,
like that
we're all
might
good.
be, I think. I can't see anyone typing or any
Okay,
more questions.
perfect.
Well,
So the
thank you very
next,
much.
yeah,
Oh,
thanks
one
guys for
more,
coming along. I was just, oh, one more, yeah,
one more.
alongside education, I need, alongside education, I needed to do work experience, but this was a few years ago. Does the work experience have a specific time frame? One was in a vet's, but was watch only a few years ago. So I would definitely try and get more up to date work experience done if it was a couple of years ago. So try and reach out to practices near you, pet shops, farms, zoos, grooming, anything where you're kind of with animals and kind of being as part of a team, I think definitely would be worthwhile. So yeah, if you can try and get some more up-to-date ones, I definitely would. Usually we say kind of the past 2 years if you've got your work experience done in. So if it's outside of that, I would try and get more done. Yeah. So the next step for you guys is those of you who haven't applied yet, definitely apply, send in all your information. The team in Middlesex will come back to you if they have any queries. You'll be invited you'll get an email to basically book on to an interview. So just book on to your interview, you'll come and meet me and then we'll have a chat. And then after that, it'll just be working on your work experience. And then those of you who I've already interviewed, it'll just be sending in your reference and then waiting until your results come out before you'll get your offer sent out anyway before that, but we'll wait until your results come out and then you will know for sure whether you have a spot.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much, everyone.
Thank you
It's been a
everyone for your
pleasure talking to
time. I hope you found it helpful. Yeah, thank
you.
you.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll hopefully see you soon.
Mhm.
And we're just on the dot of 8. That was an hour. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.